This game wrap is brought to you by El Charro Mexican Restaurant, located at Highway 78 and 3009 in Schertz, by Cat 5 Graphics, your t-shirt shop, and by... Hi everyone, Mr. Bowtie here. Thank you so much for checking out my content and my channel. Now make sure you bang home that red subscribe button on YouTube so that way you can stay up to date on the latest content from around the area that you won't find anywhere else. And follow me on Twitter at Mr. Bowtie 1982. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Schertz Clemens continues their tough non-district schedule to start the season as they will welcome in 6A West Texas power San Angelo Central to Lenhoff Stadium. Last week, the Buffaloes lost 53-7 to Austin Westlake, the defending 6A Division II state champions, a game in which Westlake led 16-0 at halftime and were able to turn it on in the second half. The Bobcats are a team that not a lot of people talk about because they're out in West Texas, but Brent Davis, one of those guys that can run the trick plays, including the Statue of Liberty, and it should be a very compelling matchup in Schertz. So how would the matchup play out, and would Clemens be able to even the record up at 1-1? Well, let's take you up to Schertz and check out all the highlights brought to you by El Charro Restaurant and Cat 5 Graphics. Fans waited in line for an hour to get in and see quarterback Max DiDeminico, the defense, and the rest of the Buffaloes for the first time in the decade. There are the head coaches, Brent Davis and Jared Johnston, both veterans of their respective schools. Davis's brother Brad won a couple of titles at Grandview before retiring in 2018. Here's an interesting stat. Clemens has had a shutout within its first 3 games each of the last 4 seasons. Keep that in mind as you watch. The Clemens defense, which was gashed last week against Westlake, was ready for the game as soon as last week ended, and it showed. Buffalo scored in their opening drive to go up early. The Bobcats' opening drive not as successful. Malachi Brown's pass complete to Jaden Gibson, but he lost the object. Recovered by number 34, Devonte Hunter. 34 would be a common theme to the first half, as would turnovers. Ensuing Clemens drives could have ended with an interception by Central, but the Bobcats were called offside, which kept the drive alive and gave the team in blue a second chance. DiDeminico capitalized on that extra opportunity. He ran up the middle as the line parted the defense like Moses parted the Red Sea, all the way to the end zone 14-0 after 1. The run was 34 yards long. More 34 references in the second quarter. Next Central drive, Brown pass off a receiver and picked off by, you guessed it, number 34, Devonte Hunter, his second forced turnover of the contest.
We just hustled to the ball. We got physical. Last week we weren't physical at all. And coach just talked to us about being physical, and that's what we did.
DiDeminico penalized Central for that mistake. Rolled out left and found Andrew Edwards wide open on 30-09 for the touchdown. The length? Well, of course, 34 yards, 21-0 Buffaloes as the offense rolled on. 4th and 3 at the Bobcat 29, with the Angry Orange having a chance to make a defensive stop. Instead, QB keeper 7 yards for the first down. Drive continued. Later in the drive, DiDeminico pass complete in the corner again, this time to Ben Prushke for the touchdown. Not 34 yards, but only 12. Still counts as a touchdown, 28-0 at halftime as the band played on and on.
Westlake was a great team. You go into every game thinking you can win, you believe you can win, and Westlake was a good test for us. I love that being our first game. Now we know where we got to get, and this game is just another tune-up for district, so we're ready for Jetson. Yes, sir.
Second half, everyone got in on the fun. I mean, literally got in on the fun. Let's go to the El Charro taco tackle of the game. Normally, the taco tackle would be on defense, but we were focusing on a tackle himself. Max's pass deflected and caught by Dylan Martin, number 72, the offensive lineman making his home varsity debut. Shades of the immaculate reception. Yes, Dylan, that is a legal catch because of the ricochet.
That play could have been bad, but I was happy for him. You know, big guys don't always get the glory. They should. You know, they're the most important part of our offense, but I was happy for him.
Maybe it's not as immaculate as Franco Harris in 1972, but it still counts as our El Charro taco tackle of the game. Make sure to stop by El Charro Restaurant located just south of the 3009-78 intersection in Schertz. The defense continued their mastery of the Concho Valley team. The offense watched with great sideline seating. Martin pass tipped around and Miles Curry came up with the prized object as he also made his home varsity debut. Angry Orange had one scoring opportunity in the contest, but the defense with the pass breakup in the end zone on 4th down, and that was it. Game was never in doubt, so a few fans headed home early, including this happy canine. Buffaloes forced 5 turnovers, and Clemens sent Central on the 200-mile road trip back to Tom Green County with a shutout loss 35-0. Or to keep with the 34 theme, 34 plus 1 to nothing. The 5th straight year the Buffaloes have shut out one of their first 3 opponents of the season, while Central is 0-2 for the first time since 2009.
We came out first half ready to play. We're frustrated from last week, but second half we got real sloppy. Penalties, we should have scored a lot more points. Defense did well. Our defense did very well, but our penalties killed us in the second half. Against teams like Judson, Steele, Smith Valley, that's going to kill us. That's the difference between winning championships right there.
Playing Westlake, the defending state champion, that helped us a lot. It awakened the defense, and it showed us a lot of flaws that we had and what we had to work on as a group and together. Coming off of this, we just had to ball out because we don't like losing.
Clemens off next week before they open up district play against Judson. Reporting from Schertz, I'm Greg Sherman.